I do agree that your strategy pursuant to the goals that you set will probably be unique to that seated council. And I think that will be a very good filter as it relates to who that partner should be. But if you go through anything other than RFP process, I think you're setting yourself up for some failure. And I realize that some of you won't even be on the council at this moment when that occurs. But hopefully, as a part of the resolution, that question can be resolved and handed down to those that come after you. So my ask is this: are you comfortable with us preparing a resolution that captures broad elements of what we talked about tonight, so that indeed before this council goes their separate ways come December or January, actually, more appropriately, this will be done. This will be memorialized as thought process, and we will have something complete to hand down to those that follow you in preparation for the next process.
Along those lines, since you're wanting to try to get this done between now and the end of the year,
Right.
do you think it would be wise for us as council to set up a committee amongst ourselves, 3 to 4, so that we don't have the quorum,
Right.
but to go through and weed out some of the things like Councilor Pollack, Councilor Sutherland with goals, give some broader ideas like that to help give a little closer direction to staff on how to structure the RFP?
We are certainly open to that, Your Honor. However, council would like to proceed.
Well, do I have any volunteers? So we may not have one if I don't have any volunteers. But I was just thinking that would kind of help and make sure that we had the things, or we can.
I think that Eric can put together a resolution and then we can go through it and then make changes as we deem necessary, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it could just be a red.
Okay. We can go that route as well. So
start the conversation there. At least start the conversation around,
yes,
a document.
I guess our direction forward then is, Mr. City Attorney, sick 'em.
Thank you, Mayor. Will do.
Oh, I'm glad this is a work session. This is parade day. We need to get out of here. I guess so we're done with that one. So I guess the next thing then is the Natrona County Rec Joint Powers Board Grant Applications Medal. Mr. City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, I think you said it just exactly right. And with that, I'll defer to Zelima to walk us through what our next funding search is up to now.
So this is a request, not a give.
Yes, sir. That's
okay. Very good. That makes it easy.
Counselors, she's not a tree anymore.
Yes, I'm not a tree. I was a very happy Parks tree today in the parade.
Oh,
okay. That went right over my head.
Pursuant to city policy, we do need to come and request permission from city council to submit applications for grants that meet certain criteria. In this case, the grant that we are requesting meets the criteria that for the amount that requires city council approval to submit the application. And so it is my proposal to council that we submit an application to the Natrona County Recreation Joint Powers Board. The intent of this application will be to provide match funding for Washington Park Phase 2. Phase 2 of the Washington Park Revival Project is intended to convert 2 of the existing tennis courts. The other 2 will be converted as part of Phase 1 to 8 football courts, but we will convert the existing 2 remaining tennis courts into parking and construct 6 new tennis courts. And so we were notified by the state of Wyoming that our phase 2 grant application to Land and Water Conservation Fund is moving forward for approval through the National Park Service. And so we expect to get that grant award in October. In anticipation of that, we want to pull together all the match funding that we will need for that grant, which is just under $750,000. So certainly we have city funds available through the 1 cent, as well as other capital and operational parks dollars with labor and in-kind services from parks and others. And we have some other commitments from local agencies that are ready and willing to contribute to the project, but we are still looking for some additional match, and this would fulfill some of that need. So it is my request to you that you allow me to submit the application.
You had me at, we're asking for money, so. I guess, does anybody have any questions to start with? Go ahead, Kyle.
Thanks, Julina. I was hoping you could just provide some further context for me in regards to, I mean, I've had a little bit of hesitation to give any sort of approval for allocations for parks, and like, I really am looking forward to the Parks Master Plan. So could you just explain to me how this folds into that plan, and reassure me that we're not making big allocation before we have all the data necessary to inform those decisions? Could you just help me get to a better place in that regard? Thank you.
Mayor, Councilor, great question. So a master planning effort for Washington Park specifically began before our full-blown Parks and Rec master plan. And so certainly the consultants are aware of the grand vision for Washington Park revival, which includes improvements across the board for all activities associated with Washington Park. In the end, we will upgrade the baseball facilities, tennis, pickleball, aquatic, road, trails, the band shell. The intention is to revive the entirety of the park, add natural space, improve sledding hill into something that's really cool for the community. And so that effort started before our full-blown master plan. And so we have continued to work towards that. And because we already had a lot of public feedback from some open houses and some surveys that we did specific to Washington Park. So we felt like we had good community support and direction in terms of what people wanted to see in that park. And again, the consultants have reviewed everything. They agree that the park is a great place to invest funds because it is one of our largest, most central regional parks that the community really gets behind.
Thank you. So really quick follow-up. So you don't foresee, there aren't going to be any surprises in regards to once we get the Parks Master Plan, the general comprehensive one, there's not going to be a significant conflict with our Washington Park Master Plan in the sense that the Parks and Master Plan that we expect to get is not going to have Washington Park at a much lower priority than some of the other, you don't see significant conflict between the two plans, it sounds like.
Mayor, Councilor, at this point, no. In full transparency, there will be some results from the master plan that will inform future phases of Washington Park, specifically to aquatic amenities at that park. But in terms of improvements to playgrounds for inclusivity, to our baseball, pickleball, tennis, band shell, no, we don't see any points of conflict. And in fact, I think they will rise because that is a regional park that serves so many people.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Everybody in favor? Looks like we're a go. Agenda review, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Turning to your grid document that hopefully you all have in front of you. Just a couple points that I would make. Number one, we are on track to bring some ballot language for you to look at and talk about and hopefully give us the blessing for, so we can move forward and meet the county clerk's deadline. And that, that discussion will take place in pre-meeting next week. We are also anticipating next week that we're gonna need to come and talk to you about some land issues in executive session next week. So that's not on your grid, but I would say you're probably gonna need to count on that discussion needing to happen
To next week.
next week. For the 23rd, we've already clarified that the airport board report is not tentative. We've got that commitment. And of course, you can see that we're gonna finish the summer fairly busy with our work session items that we want to get in front of you between now and the end of the summer. As you can tell, the work session agendas are filling up rather rapidly at this point in time. A lot of these are items you've been anticipating that we're kind of giving you a heads up on. The Parks and Rec Master Plan would be one of those coming up on the 13th, among a number of other things that we've discussed that you can expect. And then, of course, I always like to end this discussion by directing your attention to the back page so you can see what we've got slated for the very near future in the form of future agenda items, in case we're missing anything or we may need to add something pursuant to your direction. And that's my report, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You bet.
Guess we're off to council around the table.
Actually,
Oh, yep.
thanks, Carter.
Sure.
My question is in regards to, I think I had asked in the past several weeks about an update in regards to management of the public parking garage. And I believe we got a little bit of context in regards to some ongoing negotiations. I guess maybe the memo that we get for the 16th authorizing the amendment to the contract. It's about 3/4 of the way down the page. It looks like it's going to be a consent resolution, so maybe the memo will answer any questions I have, but I guess I would have loved to have a conversation, a more in-depth conversation about that. Well, I guess, you know, if I have significant questions, maybe I can ask for it to be pulled off consent for us to have a deeper conversation, but I was just, ideally for me, it would be great to have a presentation from a public about the management of the parking garage and get an update before we authorize an amendment to the contract, but maybe the memo will provide some further context to make me feel better about that. But
Mr. Mayor, Counselor, we can certainly put some time together where we can brief council on what this amendment really is. Because for our purposes, it's really just extending their current contract to the end of the calendar year. In which case, we are going to need to do a completely different RFP and go a completely different direction as it relates to that management and oversight. So you can anticipate that before the end of the year, we're going to need to have a pretty hearty conversation about where we go with that facility from here on out. And this extension really gives us some time to be able to evaluate that to the depth that we need to, so that we can enter into a new relationship with our eyes wide open by that point.
sounds good. Reassurance I was looking for. Thanks.
You bet, you bet.
Any other questions about going forward? We'll start with Councillor Pollack.
Thank you. The only update I have for you, well, sorry to miss parade day. First of all, I was really looking forward to riding on top of a fire truck, as I hope some of you got to do, and I hope you had a fantastic day. The only update I was able to sit in on an interview for a new board member for Amoco Reuse Agreement Joint Powers Board, along with Ray and some representatives from the county. And so you can anticipate seeing a appointment request coming across the agenda here soon. Really looking forward to getting another person on that board who's really passionate about that area. So the interview went well, and thanks, Ray, for helping out with it. That's it.
Thank you. Councillor Bond.
Thank you, Mayor. Not too much, just wanted to do a quick shout out to the department for looked like all hands on deck today and they seemed to go very smoothly. And so appreciate that. Fire Station 1 did a great job. I rode in the cab, not on top. I was like, that could be catastrophic. Wait, with that apparatus theme. But anyway, though, it's a good parade day. And just wanted to say tomorrow is Royal Gibbs Day, so be sure you go on royalgibbs.org, I believe. And you can contribute to your favorite nonprofit. Thank you, that's all I have. Oh, I do have a planning and zoning meeting on Thursday, so I'll be able to update you on next Tuesday, and a water power board on next Tuesday, so I can give you updates on both of those then.
Very good. Counselor Jensen.
Well, let's see, it reminded me of something I had taken note on. Fabulous parade day, so everybody had a great time. It was fun to see everybody out there, the streets packed all the way up past City Park from downtown and thick with people and a lot of good energy, and it was amazing. So it looked like everybody was having an awesome time. So I was happy to see the turnout. Also happy that it wasn't like 1,000 degrees. It was like relatively all right. It was only 84. We have, let's see, coming up, this is Jeffree Star's first anniversary of his meet and makeup going on. So he has a big concert coming. I don't know who they are, but I'm thinking Kyle probably knows. Alien.
You said it was on a short playlist.
Yeah, that's right. Is it Alien Ant Farm? Is that right? Or Ant something? I don't know. Alien.
Yeah, it's definitely on my playlist.
So that should be fun too, just like last year was a great turnout for that. So just, it's great to see the community all come together in so many fun activities and summer events out there, and everybody's coming out of their homes and enjoying Casper and seeing the best of what we have and just having a good clean family fun, you know, so it's nice to see. Otherwise I don't have anything coming up. Just kind of this parade week and fair week. Go support your 4-Hers, go see their livestock, go participate in their livestock sale, go see the parade, go see the rodeo, and just get out there and enjoy the summer while we can. So that's all I got.
Counselor Pacheco.
Just, yeah, sat on the Amoco Joint Powers Board, the board member interview, and so that went really well and went quickly and pretty seamlessly. So I just appreciate the invite to help out. That's all I got.
Appreciate you doing it.
I don't have anything. It was a really calm last week. I mean,
Okay. Very good.
Oh, holiday week.
Counselor Gamble.
All I got is, was able to attend the parade sitting on top of the fire truck today. So it's my second time doing it. Gotta bring my 6-year-old daughter. She loves spraying people with the water. So, it was awesome. I only became aware this year that Fire Station number 1 does a pancake breakfast before the parade. So I thought that was really cool and I was able to catch that. Thanks for the heads up, Mayor. So, if you're not aware of that and you'd like to attend it next year, I would encourage you to do it. Those guys at the fire department always know how to cook. My only request is next year we get a couple more buckets. I had to really be conservative with my water there, but it was a hot enough day.
It was pushing.
Oh, man, yeah, I'm on an adventure, so. But yeah, I had a good time. My 6-year-old loved it, so I always appreciate that opportunity. That's all I got.
Counselor Sutherland.
Thank you. I have a few things. I was also on top of the truck today with 2 other 6-year-olds, so maybe it was the combination of 6-year-olds, but they did go through that water pretty fast. But they had so much fun, so thanks to the guys for doing that. And yeah, we did this 2 years ago, and since that day, regularly I've been asked when they get to sit on the fire truck again, so that was really fun. Also, I mean, Letitia's not here, but I just feel like having reentry come today and knowing that she was so crucial to setting up that relationship there. I just wanted to shout out to her for thinking of alternatives that seem like it's going to be really great. So if anybody's going to see Letitia soon, tell her nice work, please. Yeah, she was here. She just left. I think that I know the answer to this question, but can we just like set the record straight on whether people can set fireworks off within city limits? So we're just getting emails all over the place.
Mayor, council, yeah, fireworks possession or utilization of them within the city limits is prohibited. It's not super easy to find an ordinance, but through ordinance, we adopt the International Fire Code. The International Fire Code explicitly prohibits fireworks. So I did talk with our fire folks before the 4th of July, and we went over that, and there was a process in place for issuing citations if that occurred. But that is correct. It is not legal. Likewise, in the unincorporated parts of Natrona County, they are also illegal. I think it's Resolution 40-05 that the county passed prohibits fireworks in the county.
Okay, okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, I was just gonna say I'm not gonna be here next week, and then I'm done.
Is it?
I was in the parade today. I was on the golf cart, so I wasn't able to squirt water at people. So, but other than that, I think everybody had a great time, a lot of turnout. And so it just seemed like there was a lot of people out there supporting everybody. So we had a good time. But
As a note to that and the participation in the parade, I would say most of council participated in some manner in the parade. Some were with the parks, some were walking animals, some were on fire trucks. I know the public is used to seeing us on the fire trucks, but we kind of split up and diversified our approach this year. So we were there. We didn't boycott the parade. So I wanted to pass that on. Secondly, absolutely a shout out to the police for their traffic control. Even saw the chief down there directing traffic. Now, he didn't have quite all of the moves with the guys in New York and stuff, but he had a very nice come on through. So thank you, chief, and all of your officers for everything they did there. And to the fire department for the breakfast, great. And that's to the union, basically. It's the union that supplies all of that along with the firefighters. So a shout out to the union as well for providing the breakfast this morning from 8 to 10. And I'm assuming that's the normal hours every year. So next year, parade day, 8 to 10, be there, be square. So we will help promote that. Two other things. I know a lot of people are aware that there have been some changes on property tax rules for people that are over 65 and have lived in their house for either 25 or 30 years. The assessor's office will have information coming out in September of how to apply for those qualifications. So that will be in September. I stopped by there the other day to check on that. So that's one of my public service announcements. The other one is starting on Monday, unless they have changed the schedule, the intersection of I-25 and Center Street will be closed. They will be this next week shifting lanes on the interstate going through, and they will be tearing down a bridge at that intersection. So plan your business accordingly for next week to avoid that intersection because it will be closed. Beyond that, yeah, been a slow week. So do what?
If I say something when you're done.
Go for it.
Yeah, you're right.
I was just thinking about this. I think also I want to say thank you to the streets and the traffic departments that did a lot of work within that clean up all those things. So I just want to give them a quick shout out too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ray.
You betcha.
Yes, they definitely did that. And next year, though, when they bring the water trucks down that were on the corners, have them put some water in that with a hose to come out to, so as the fire truck makes the turn, we can reload all of our sprinklers. So anyhow, thank you all for being here tonight. We beat the 6:15, so I guess we can all make it to the rodeo if we want to for tonight. You're good to go. Thank you all.
Good job.